Oh my god! I just flattened 30 Pakistanis!
Dead flies against the windscreen, Sumatran. Just keep your head down and strike hard for the Brotherhood of Mutants.
Great, 10 seconds into the mission and our biggest hitter just fractured his skull. I told you we should have made him a helmet like Juggernauts. How many times did I say we should have made him a helmet like Juggernauts?
10 seconds into the mission and you're already moaning, Quicksilver. Doesn't matter. He took out the security system like he was supposed to.
What about you, Orb-Weaver? Are you okay? Procyon?
Quicksilver, would you please stop worrying? You're getting the rest of us as anxious as you are.
Reinforcements appearing at the southwest of the facility, dear brother. Do you want to neutralize them, or shall I?
Just follow the plan and make your way toward the missile silos. Wanda?
By the time the sound carries these words to your eardrums, I should have taken care of them anyway.
Show off.
Would you really have me any other way? Gentlemen, your base is under attack by a mutant militia group, and the creature infecting your machines at the moment is a self-replicating mutant virus called HHVX. Getting in its way is not recommended.
The launch pads are paralyzed, Wanda. Are you sure you can take it from here by yourself?
Dad's dead, Pietro. You don't have to worry about him looking over your shoulder and checking for mistakes anymore, you know.
Mr. President? Already watching it, young man, and twice as scared as you are.
God, I hope they're watching this.
Who? Homo sapien?
No, Toad and Sabretooth and all those other two-faced curs who said the Brotherhood was a disgrace since Dad died. That I was running it into the ground. Even Magneto never pulled off anything like this, Procyon. Even Magneto never neutered an entire country before. As you are all aware by now, disarming Pakistan of their nuclear capability was not an isolated incident. At the same time, my brother mutants robbed India of her nuclear arsenal because both countries have displayed a terrifying irresponsibility with such awesome power. It is amusing that this enforced multilateralism has been popular with the public, but I'm afraid our motives were a little more selfish than pleasing Homo sapien. This world of yours will be ours very soon, and we... Oh, for God's sake, Blob, do you think you could run the autocue a little faster than stroke victim speed, please?
You're talking too fast, Pietro. I'm just trying to slow you down so people understand the message, buddy.
Look, shut up. Just rewind the blasted tape and let's start again, shall we?
Idiots! We're being led by idiots! I heard Magneto didn't even use a script when he used to make his broadcasts. Now that moron Quicksilver can't even read from an auto cue without tripping over his lines.
Personally, I just can't believe we're still sticking to this stupid ceasefire they talked us into. Who cares if bombs are unpopular in the current climate? We're terrorists, for God's sake. Doesn't that mean we're obliged to blow people up from time to time?
The trouble with Wanda and Pietro is that all these trendy little missions have been getting their faces in the glossies, and they're starting to enjoy the flattering profiles. Too many lunches with Charles Xavier, and not enough time listening to their own grassroots, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think we should all stay loyal to the guys who broke us out of the laboratories, Procyon. If it wasn't for the Brotherhood, I'd still be smoking 200 cigarettes a day.
Yeah, broke us out for what, Saluki? Anti-globalization missions? Vandalizing burger chains? I didn't join the Brotherhood to become some kind of human rights campaigner. I might as well have joined the Xmen. Animal evolutionaries are the fastest growing mutant subgroup out there, and I just feel it's time we saw a little blood for everything that's been done to us.
Procyon's right. We outnumber the old Homo Superior people 3-1 since Juggernaut and Rogue walked out with Toad and everyone.
God, only 6 of the old guard remain, and one of them has to be that big fat slob Blob. What kind of leadership puts up with a 50-ton sweat bucket who spends all day surfing the internet pretending he's a bulimic supermodel?
A temporary one, Kathleen. A very temporary one.
the Xavier Institute for Gifted Children.
Well, how did it go, Professor? Did the CAT scan pick up any unusual brain activity?
Absolutely nothing, Jean. That's 4 weeks of continuous assessment, and according to the results, you're in excellent physical condition.
What about psychically?
Psychically, you're clearly stressed, but that's perfectly understandable given your recent hallucinatory relapse. I know you're worried that you're drifting back into mental illness, but trust me, Jean, this vision you experienced was almost certainly just one of a kind. I think your powers might just be expanding a little as your mind matures, but we can work on this together, and even up your dose of amitriptyline if we have to.
Just seeing the Phoenix again brought it all back, Professor. The smell of the hospital, the sound of everyone thinking at once, not being able to tell the future from the past. It'd be just my rotten luck to go completely insane now that I've finally found myself a decent boyfriend.
Jean, you're fine. My God, if you have to worry about anyone, worry about poor Henry McCoy up there. He's been skulking around the school like the Phantom of the Opera since he broke up with Aurora, and he's worrying me a great deal. The combination of this with Iceman's lawsuit against us has plunged him into a deep depression. Perhaps you could try to include him more, like you've done with Kitty recently. Likewise, I think you should spend a little more time with Wolverine.
What?
He came to the school begging me to control that terrible temper of his, and I know he's taking your relationship with Scott very, very badly. Wolverine is the most dangerous mutant in the world, Jean. Playing games with him is most unwise.
The Map Room.
How do you feel about the name Shadowcat, Cyclops?
What?
I've been trying to come up with a cool superhero name, like the ones you guys have, but it's really hard not to come off like some crap Saturday morning cartoon show. Do you think Shadowcat sums up my powers well enough, or do you think I should go for something else?
I think you should be studying for your physics paper, Kitty.
Tried that, and it was death by boredom, Scotty. What are you doing here anyway? Some kind of geography homework?
No, Colossus and I might be going on a mission to the Savage Land tomorrow morning. I'm just refamiliarizing myself with the topography before we leave.
I thought the place was some kind of disaster zone now. It said on TV nobody's allowed in or out.
Yeah, but the military have been in there for 6 months, stripping the place apart and looking for anything bright and shiny they might be able to patent. 24 hours ago, the Pentagon lost all radio communication, and the professor volunteered to send an X-team in to find out what happened.
Sounds cool. You think he'd let me tag along?
Not a chance.
Come on, you've seen how good I'm getting with these phasing powers. I was running rings around you guys in the danger room this morning.
I couldn't care less. Your mom specifically asked us to restrict your training to power control, Kitty. Missions into jungle hellholes are strictly off limits.
You scared I'll do an Iceman and sue you if you break me? Oops. That actually came off about 300 times meaner than originally intended.
Maybe Scotty Boy's just worried he won't be able to keep his hands to himself down there, Kitty. Him being the X-Men's resident ladies' man and all.
What are you doing here, Wolverine? I thought you and Aurora were supposed to be in Philadelphia handling that hostage situation.
Yeah, well, change of plan.
If that's alcohol I smell in your breath, I'd advise you to go back to your room and sober up before the professor catches sight of you, mister.
You just give me an order, Summers?
Oh, for God's sake.
You think you're better than me or something? You think you're a big man now because you picked up one of my skinny little cast-offs?
Guys, I really think you should cool it here.
Don't push your luck, Wolverine.
Or what? You're gonna hit me with an optic blast? Your guts would be on the floor before you even reached your glasses, bub. Maybe you haven't noticed, but Jeannie's been getting headaches since the day she started going out with you, Romeo. You figure that's a coincidence? Or do you think she's just missing some prime Canadian beefcake in her diet?
Don't push it, man.
She sure enjoyed the little taste she had back in Washington, Cyclops. I think we both know it's only a matter of time before she comes back for the main course.
Kitty, go get the professor and tell him he needs to put Wolverine and me in detention before we trash this place.
What? Okay, I'm going!
Low blow. I just want you to know, if it wasn't for Jeannie, the claws would be out while I'm doing this, pretty boy. this coming for a long time, you cocky little snot.
Ditto, meatball.
Oh my god, where's the professor? Cyclops and Wolverine are killing each other in the map room.
The big bad rap and the lame Clint Eastwood act might be enough to spook the others, but it doesn't wash with me, Wolverine. I'm warning you now. Keep your hands off my girlfriend, or so help me God, we're gonna find out how good that healing factor of yours really is, man. You deaf or something, mister? I'm talking to you. Oh, crap.
Scott, what on earth do you think you're doing?
Only trying to defend myself, sir.
By throwing the first punch in a fight? I don't care if he insulted your girlfriend, Mr. Summers. This is not the Wild West, and I will not tolerate these childish testosterone outbursts. Supposing he'd killed you.
I'm not scared of Wolverine, sir.
Well, you should be, Scott, because tonight's the night I put Magneto through his psychic rehabilitation hour. And if I'd already left, you'd be on the floor in pieces. I'm placing you both in cerebral detention for the night to think about what you've done, and slowing time down to 1/8. I'm incredibly disappointed in you, Scott. You of all people.
I'm sorry, sir.
We'll decide what we're going to do about this in the morning.
Professor! There's something wrong with Jean, sir.
What?
I think she's having another fit.